afternoon, good evening, good moment, depending on when we're watching this. So today we are going to do a full body stretch, but we're going to focus on hips and lower back. But keep in mind, everything is connected. So your neck, upper body, lower back, and your hamstrings are all going to play a part into this tightness that we're feeling, especially being contained in our homes, not moving around as much. So we're going to focus on that. If you've got a tennis ball, you'll want to have that handy and close by. If you've got a lacrosse ball, something a little harder, you can use that as well. I prefer the tennis ball because it has a little bit more give than the lacrosse ball. So keep that nearby. Also have water nearby, preferably a bottle like this or about 16 ounces of water. As we're stretching, as we are releasing the lactic acid that's stored up in the body, you're going to want to use water to flush that out. The body's toxins are eliminated through urine, sweat, and through your breath. So the more you can keep your body hydrated, the more you'll get that gunk out of the body. So we're going to start with a quick stretch through the neck. Okay, we're going to test out both sides of the neck. I'm going to constantly be reminding you to breathe. So you'll notice that you may forget to breathe as the body takes on stress of any kind or tension, or we go into survival mode. And that survival mode is an automatic response that you'll stop breathing. And so what's happening is that you're actually trying to hold on to the thing that you need most to survive. There's a sermon in there somewhere. I'll leave that for later. But we're going to continue to breathe throughout any kind of physical or emotional stress that comes up. So what I want you to do is you're just going to stand hip width apart. I have a yoga mat. Carpet works, so if you don't have a mat, that's fine. You can do carpet, socks that have grip on them on the bottom, anything like that. I like to wear 2 different color socks, so that helps distinguish left from right, mostly for me, but it helps you as well. So we're going to start with the neck. You're going to let your shoulders relax. Keep your hips tucked under by bending your knees, so your hips are relaxed. So if you stand with your legs straight, then you're going to end up with your hip protruding backwards, so you're going to let your knees relax. Bring your shoulders up, back, and down, okay? And then take your left ear, bring it to your left shoulder. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds. As you're breathing, you're going to breathe in for a count of 5 and out for a count of 5. That's about a count of 10. You do that 3 times, that's 30 seconds. Okay? So you're not trying to force anything, you're just bringing your ear to your shoulder. Okay? Remember to breathe and relax your hips by bending your knees. You're going to notice that as we go along, the more tension you're finding in your body, it's going to cause your knees to lock. It's going to cause your back to turn under. Okay, so that's a natural progression of that tension. Inhale, bring your head up to the middle, then exhale, bring your right ear to your right shoulder. If you can help it, you're going to breathe through your diaphragm, so when you inhale, your belly inflates. When you exhale, your belly deflates. Come back to the middle, bring your chin down to your chest. And bring your chin up. And you're going to bring your eyes towards the ceiling. If your mouth is closed, you may notice that there's a lot of tension in the front part of your neck. If that's the case, you can open your mouth. That'll release some of that tension, and then you can work on slowly closing your mouth, which will help to give you an extra stretch through the neck. Okay, remember to relax your lower back, bend your knees. Okay, bring your head back down towards the middle. We're going to do that same sequence again. You're going to bring your left ear to your left shoulder. This time you're going to take your left hand, place it over and on top of your right ear. Be careful that you're not pulling your neck. This is not a pull, you're just resting your hand on top of your ear, so it gives a little added weight to the stretch in your neck. You can bring your right shoulder down a bit. Okay, you're going to start to notice a little bit more tension coming through your traps, running from your ear down to through your shoulders. Release your hand first and then bring your neck up, right ear to your right shoulder. This time take your right hand, place it over and on top of your left ear. Again, you're just letting your hand rest. The longer you sit there, naturally your arm's going to get a little heavier. Right? So again, try not to pull, you're just letting your hands rest. You can bring your left shoulder down as well. Remove your right hand, bring your head back to the middle. Okay. You're going to take your hands, you're going to clasp them behind you. Okay, so you're going to clasp behind you and pull downward. I usually will take my two fingers and point them down so it looks sort of like this. When you do that, you may notice that your legs automatically tighten up, your back starts to get tight. Okay, so you can start with bent knees. You can always adjust as you go through this. So as you pinch your shoulder blades back, you grab your hands, pull down. If this is too much for you, if you've got like a belt or a strap like this, you can use that as well. You hold one end of the strap. You don't want to have a lot of space in between the straps, maybe about 6 inches apart your hands should be. And then you're going to pull down. Okay, so some people with shoulder injuries, just tightness in the back, maybe you're finding you're not that flexible, you can use the strap or a belt. A towel works, a t-shirt, so anything that you can just hold behind you. Okay, so then you pull your shoulders down. So pull the shoulders down. You're going to look at your feet. Your feet are going to tell you a story. If your back is out of alignment or there's tightness on one side or the other, you're going to notice that your feet start to splay out to the sides. You want your toes facing forward. Use your imagination. Place the heel of your foot behind the second and third toe. And this will keep your feet aligned going straight. All right. So you're pulling down through the shoulders. Again, we're going to take the right ear, bring it to the right shoulder. So right ear to right shoulder, you're going to notice a lot more tension through the traps, the muscles running from your ear through your shoulder. And make sure to breathe. I'm going to stay here a little bit longer so you can take 4 deep breaths. You're going to inhale, come back to the middle. Exhale, bring your left ear down by your left shoulder. Okay. And your stretching will not look like mine. Everyone is going to be different. So don't over exaggerate, right, and end up leaning to the side. You're just going to come down as much as you can. As you're breathing, you may notice a little bit more give. As you do this over time, you're going to notice a little bit more flexibility in your neck, but that could take some time depending on your own personal situation. Make sure to breathe and bend your knees. If you're feeling tingling in your shoulders, that's normal. That's the pressure you're feeling by your nerves. You're going to bring your neck back towards the middle. Take your chin down to your chest. It's a great opportunity to look at your feet. Make sure they're facing forward. So you may even be surprised sometimes that what you thought was straight and then you look down and your feet are not straight at all. come up towards the ceiling. If your hands are locked together, you can press your palms together while you're doing this for an added intensity to the stretch. If you're holding onto a towel or a belt, you're just going to hold on to the towel or the belt. You're not there yet. Okay, come back to the middle. Release your hands. Shake it out. You're going to shake out that feeling from your hands. You're going to roll your shoulders up and back, and then up and forward. So maybe do 4 going each direction. Okay. Good. We're going to work on the upper part of your back. Okay. A lot of us deal with headaches and tightness in the neck. Stretching out through this part of your back, right by the traps, right by the deltoids, through the shoulders, that will start to help to loosen up the neck. As the muscles get tight around that area, it doesn't allow for a lot of movement in the neck. And on top of that, if you've had any injuries, if you've had some medications can cause this as well. So you want to be mindful that a lot of this tightness causes extra pain in the neck, which then leads to more headaches. If you've already been feeling that tightness as we did that last stretch, you're going to be prone to tightness through the rest of your shoulders, right? So you can imagine how that constant tightness will affect the rest of your head and the vertebrae in your spine. Okay. So you're going to take your right arm, place it out in front of you, take your left arm, come under the right arm, grab onto your shoulder or your tricep, pull your arm into your body. Okay. Notice how I didn't bend my arm, I just kept it straight and I'm pulling in. Okay. So you're going to feel some bunching here in the front part of your shoulder, right by your pectoral muscles. You're going to start to feel some of that stretch behind the shoulder blades. Okay. So my left elbow is, that space right here in the dip is holding on to the right elbow. So that way my hand can reach across. So you can do this and breathe. You're going to relax your shoulders. Some of you may have started to shrug already. Relax your shoulders, bend your knees. Don't forget to breathe. So you can do this for about 3 or 4 breaths. Nice deep breath. Okay. As you breathe deeply, your heart rate starts to slow down. Because as you bring stress into the body, your heart rate will naturally start to rise. Your blood pressure will go up. Deep breathing is a great way to lower your blood pressure and steady your heart rate by at least 5 to 10 points. Good. You're going to relax your arm. The left arm first, then the right arm. You're going to do the same on the other side. Bring the left arm in front of you, right arm under, and drag across. As you're deep breathing, you're bringing in more oxygen to the body, which signals to the brain that it can then release the toxins, carbon dioxide, and other waste products through your exhale. Okay. The deeper your breath, the slower your heart rate will be. The more you quicken your breath, the faster your heart rate and your blood pressure will be. There are times for that, especially when you're doing some cardio exercise or you're running. But if we're trying to slow the body down, deep breathing is what's going to be most helpful. Make sure your knees are bent. And you're going to relax your shoulders. Good. Okay. If you've got a towel or a strap, you're going to keep that close by, okay? Somewhere where you can reach it. We're going to come back to that in a moment. Okay. We're going to do a little bit more advanced stretch. If this gets to be too much, then definitely go back to stretching across the body, okay? Because you're not quite there yet. There's a little bit more stiffness that needs to be worked out. So you do this consistently. Over a week, 2-3 weeks, you'll be able to get to this advanced cross stretch. Okay. So you're going to take your left arm in front of you at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so your hand is facing upward. You got to bend in your elbow. Okay, so that's right in front of your face. So you're going to take your right arm and do the same thing. Take your right arm and cross it over the top of the left. Okay, so it's like I made a big X. I can do that. Okay, so you're gonna come up. So I took my right arm all the way across, and then I'm going to take my right arm, extend it a little bit, and bring it up and around the left. Okay, so I'll show you from this side too. Left arm, right arm across, out, and over. Okay, so it looks a lot like this. You're going to bring your shoulders up a little bit, relax them. You should be looking in the middle of your wrist, and you're going to pull your hands away from your face. That's going to give you a real nice deep stretch through the back of your shoulders and your neck. It's also going to cause your low back to tighten up a little bit through your hamstrings, so you're going to bend your knees and relax your glutes, relax your low back, and breathe. Okay, so we're going to do this about 30-40 seconds. Nice deep breaths. If this starts to hurt at all or it becomes uncomfortable, you're just going to get out of it. To get out of it, you don't want to just release your hands. That can actually cause more damage. So you're going to relax the clasp of your hands. You're going to remove the right hand first, then the left, and then release. Okay. So anytime we come out of a position, you want to do it systematically, section by section. You don't want to just get out of something, because that can end up tightening a muscle or pinching a nerve. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Right arm is in front of you, taking the left arm and crossing it over, around, and clasp. So your hands should clasp together. If you can't touch your palms, you may notice that you grab your thumb. Try not to really grab your thumb, or maybe grab your wrist instead and hold it stable. If you grab your thumb, you're going to put a lot of pressure and pull your thumb towards your face. So same thing here, and then pull away. You're definitely going to notice one side will be tighter than the other. Okay. You want to make sure your feet are hip width apart, your hip width apart. Everybody's got different size hips. And breathe. Part of taking care of yourself is addressing some of the tension in your body. So you're just going to take it easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up for the things that you can't do. Right? There are accommodations, there are multiple ways to do things and achieve certain stretches. So if this is not something that's working for you, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to do it with the strap or a towel here in a second. And then relax. Let your arms release, and then circle back, circle forward. Okay. You have your towel or your t-shirt or your strap. Okay. If you couldn't go across, that's okay. And there are other ways to stretch this area. One of those is taking the strap in your right hand, bring it behind your body. Take the left hand, place it behind your back at a 90-degree angle going downward. If that's too much for you, just let your arm relax and grab here at the bottom. Okay. You're going to work your hands up and down the strap. So the top hand is feeding the strap up, bottom hand is working up as well. So your top hand is working down, bottom hand is working up. You're going to get as close as you can. That might be just a couple inches. That might be all the way to where you feel like you can touch your hands. When you're doing this, you want to be mindful that your neck isn't being pressed forward. You want your shoulders to be back, and you want to be able to stand up straight while you do this. Okay, so that's going to give you a stretch through the shoulders individually. Okay, so you're going to breathe here. Everything's about breathing. You do need oxygen for your body. To release, you're going to let go of the lower hand first. You're going to slide that down and off, and then bring your top hand up and over. Okay. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. Take strap in your left hand. The left hand is going on the top. Right hand comes across the bottom. And you're going to work your hands down as much as you can. Again, you may only be here, okay? Not everything has to look the way I'm doing it. You're going to do what feels good in your body and then maybe a tiny bit more. Right? You don't want to overexert yourself, but you do want to challenge yourself. So this is a good option. If you couldn't do the cross arms, even if you could do the cross arms, I immediately would come to this afterwards. Okay. Again, strap, towel, belt, t-shirt, pant legs. Right. There's all kinds of options in your house. And relax the arms. We're going to go ahead and touch our toes. Okay, so what you do is start with bent knees. Okay, try not to just fold straight over. You're going to lock your hamstrings up right away. So you can start with bent knees. Bend as much as you need to come all the way down and touch your toes. Okay, so even if that's a deep bend like this before you can touch your toes, that's okay. Okay. And then you're going to slowly begin to straighten out your legs. Meanwhile, your crown of your head is coming down towards the mat. So what that looks like from the side, you're going to bend, touch your toes and your knees, or I'm sorry, the floor, and slowly straighten out your legs. Let the crown of your head face downward. Your toes should be facing forward. And you want to breathe through your lower back. Okay, so you're taking that deep breath and you're going to breathe so you feel your low back expand. And release. So you're going to do about 4 of these deep breaths. Let your shoulders relax as well. This is starting to lengthen out the vertebrae in your spine. You're going to place your hands on your shins. Lift your head first, bend your knees, and flatten out your back as you come up halfway. Let some of that blood come away from your head. And exhale, come back down. This time you're going to grab your hands behind your calf muscles and pull your upper body towards your lower body. Nice deep breath. Again, still breathing through the lower back. Okay. You may start to feel the tingling in your legs. Okay, your low back is now being stretched, so that may cause your legs to start to fall asleep. If that's the case, you want to come up a little bit earlier. Okay, you're going to bring your head up first. This is to keep you from getting overwhelmed. Bend your knees and then come all the way up. If that feels like it was too much, right? The second option for coming up is you're here, you're going to touch the ground, lift your head first, come down to one knee, right? And then come up. Right? That takes a lot of the pressure off the low back. And then you place your hands in the middle of your thigh and then stand up. Okay. What happens is all the nerves that are running through your spine are coming out through the bottom of the spine like this. Just kind of like jellyfish tentacles, and so all that blood and energy is now running through the spine, activating all those nerves. So then you're starting to feel that lightheaded feeling, that overwhelming feeling. You can start to feel some of the gas bubble up. So that's why if you come down to one knee, it takes away a lot of that feeling. Okay. Okay. We're going to work on the side of the ribs here. You're going to lift your left hand up. So if you're watching this, it might look like your right hand. So your left hand is going to go up. You're going to bend your right knee, so the opposite knee. You're going to come up on your tiptoes. And you're going to reach as high as you can go. Okay, it's going to stretch across your back this way. So you should feel the stretch around your ribs, around your hip. You should feel like your hip is pulling away just a little bit. You're going to reach up. We call these apple pickers, like you're reaching for an apple on an apple tree and just slightly out of your reach. So you had to come up on the 1 foot to get an extra couple inches. Go ahead and switch sides. So bringing the right hand up and bending the left knee. And you're going to reach up as much as you can. You can do this 3 or 4 times. Good. Maybe about 3 or 4 breaths in between, and then go ahead and switch. So the more we can loosen up the muscles in the back, which is one giant muscle in its own with different pockets to it, the easier it'll be to stretch out your hips and your legs, right? If you've ever had a back injury or a nerve, you know how much your back is involved in absolutely everything. Go ahead and switch. You're going to place your hands on your hips, okay? Hip width apart, toes facing forward, and you're going to circle around. Okay? So you're using your pelvic bones to massage the inside of your low back. Okay? Some of you may experience more tightness than others. As you're coming forward through your hips, you want to lift your chin and inhale. As you're rolling through the back, you want to tip your chin to your chest and exhale. Yeah. So it's like an ice cream scoop. You're using the pelvic bones to circle all the way around and through. If your toes start to move and come up, you're going to slow down. That's an area of extra tension and tight muscles, and it's affecting your nerves. So you want to slow down and really work through that area with your bones. Your bones are the hardest thing in your body, so to use your own bone to massage what is now turned into tough muscle, it's going to be beneficial to your body. So you're going to do 4 in one direction, and at the top of your inhale on the 4th time, you're going to circle back the other direction. Remember, chin goes up as you come forward, chin goes down as you circle back. Some of you will become great hula hoopers after this. Okay. So you relax. Take your left arm up again. Right arm is going to relax. If you need to brace yourself, brace your right hand on your thigh, not your knee. We're going to reach all the way over from the left side to the right side. So inhale nice and tall to start, and then as you're exhaling, coming down to the side. So again, it doesn't have to look like how mine looks. One thing you want to be mindful of is that your head is not facing forward like that. You want your ear to be by your shoulder. One way to make that easy is to start with your arm by your ear and just keep it all together as you come down. Okay, you can always start shallow because you can go deeper. So if you start shallow, as you're exhaling, you can work down a little bit more. You're going to feel a lot of tightness in between the ribs and definitely between the lower rib and your hip bone. Breathe here. This is definitely a spot you want to remember to breathe. To come out of this, you're going to bend your left elbow first to relax your ribs and then stand up. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, so lift your right arm up, exhale down to the other side. You can use your hand to guide yourself down your leg. Nothing wrong with that. It will help, never hurt anybody. You may have already started grunting and groaning from the beginning, lots of tightness. That's okay. Let it out. You're in your house, for goodness sakes. So be free with yourself. It's okay. Good. Bend the elbow. Come back to the top. Okay. So you can already see how that tightness has been affecting your breathing and your back and your ribs. Right? So it's important that we do these stretches. Okay. You're going to take your tennis ball, if you've got it. If you don't have your tennis ball, you can use your fists, your knuckles. Okay. If you got a tennis ball, great. Or something soft of this nature. Try not to use those stress squishy balls. That doesn't do anything. Okay. So you can take the ball in the middle of your palm, and you're going to roll out your pectoral muscles. Okay. This is also one of your emotional centers where you keep a lot of your stressful emotions. Okay. So we're incorporating a little bit of emotional freedom techniques into this as well. So make sure to breathe. You're going to roll out your pectoral muscles. And coming across the top by the collarbone. You can go slow. You can go medium pace. Try not to go furious. That's just craziness. Right? So you're going to roll all your pectoral muscles towards the sternum, towards the shoulders, the ribs. If you're someone who's not too ticklish, you can go under your ribs as well. So in this space here. You can do the other side as well. Especially for those of you who do a lot of typing or sit at a desk a lot, or you have been sitting at a desk, maybe your home office. You're going to notice you're doing a lot of hunchings. You're going to stand up, shoulders back, and you're going to roll out the ball through your chest. Okay. Make sure to breathe. This is a good time if you haven't brushed your teeth yet to make sure your breath isn't so funky. You're not having to smell that all day long. Just because you're not leaving the house doesn't mean you can't brush your teeth. Shower's fine. Brush your teeth though. Down by the ribs. When you get to the ribs, this is where using a tennis ball versus a harder ball comes in handy, because you don't want to damage and bruise your ribs. But you also don't want to press too hard either with the ball. So just lightly roll through the ribs. Okay. Great. All right. So we're going to take a little break, maybe get some water. Don't drink so much water, just a little bit. Just to wet your throat. We're going to come down to the mat. I don't want you to have so much water in your body that all of a sudden you're feeling like you're drowning. Okay. So you're going to sit on your mat. Where the Whenever you sit, you're going to take your hands under your glute muscles, your butt, and you're going to pull your cheeks out to the side. It's going to help you to sit a little bit more grounded. You're not symmetrical on either side of your body, so when you just sit, you're slightly uneven. So pulling out your upper thigh like that helps you to sit a little bit more even towards the middle. Okay. So you're going to sit up. We're going to breathe. As you exhale, work your hands down towards your feet. So you're just going to go as far as you can. When you start to meet that resistance, you're going to pause. Some of you might be just like right here. Some of you may be able to go a little bit further. So you're going to go where you can and just breathe. Slowly tilt your chin to your chest. Take nice deep breaths. This is going to start to stretch out the lower part of your back. Those muscles on the left and right side of your spine. This is good for your diaphragm. It's also good for the liver. And there are other organs in that area. Nice deep breaths through the back. And you're going to slowly work your neck down. You don't want to jump right into that. It's going to pull your neck. So do this for about 4 or 5 breaths. Lift your head first. Bring your arms back in towards the body to loosen up the back. And then sit up. So we're going to do that 2 or 3 times. See if you can go a little bit further each time, but don't overexert yourself. Even if you stayed in that same position, it's still beneficial. Even if you only came a quarter of an inch down, it's beneficial. Right? So try not to beat yourself up. You're just going to do what you can. And reach forward. If you notice that your knees are starting to lift off the ground, you're going to shallow up a little bit. Okay. It's pulling too much on the back. Remember to breathe. Inhale, come back up. Okay. If you want to go ahead and do that one more time, feel free. Now we're going to move on. Okay. So we're going to focus on the low back, the hamstrings at this point. Okay, so you're going to lay back on the ground. If it's too much to lay straight back, I would say you can just turn your body to the side and then work your way down. Okay. So you're going to lean back, have both knees up. Okay. You're going to have your hands on your hips. Okay. And I'll turn to the side. Helpful not to have anything right under your head. You take your hands on your hips. You're going to exhale and tilt your hips under. That's instantly going to start to tighten up your abdominal muscles. Okay. So you're going to tilt your hips in and hold for 3-4 seconds and then release your hips. Should create a little bit of an arch through your back. You don't want an over-pronounced arch, but it'll naturally create that. So you're going to do that 10 times. Right? So have your hands on your hips. You're going to breathe and tuck under. Engage your abs where you can, so tighten your abs where you can. And relax. If you keep your chin to your chest, that's going to keep your neck in line with your spine and give you a nice little neck stretch as well. So we're going to do 10 of these, holding for 3 to 4 seconds each, and release. So this is moving that fluid through your hips and your low back. It's also engaging your core. If you've got an itch, scratch it. Good. Relax. And tuck under. Even though your abs are engaged, you can still breathe through your diaphragm. Might take a little bit more effort mentally to concentrate on that, but it can be done. And if you're having a hard time with it, just breathe normally, okay, through your chest or your nostrils. Just don't stop breathing. Okay. We're going to do 2 more. Last one. Good. You're going to take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee. You're going to take your right palm, place it in the middle of your thigh, and press the hip out. You're going to press your leg out towards whatever wall you're looking at. You want to make sure that your left foot that's still on the ground, your foot is facing forward, your heel is behind your second and third toe, and your foot's not tucked too far under towards your butt. You want to be out a little bit more. Okay. So you're going to press out. This is going to work your hip flexors, that space in between the ribs and the hip bone. Okay. So your oblique muscles. And tilt your chin to your chest. So you're going to press out for about 10 seconds. Nice deep breaths. Good. Relax your hand. Switch sides. left ankle over the right knee. And press out. Try not to press on your knee, and it's going to cause too much pressure and pain on the knee joint itself. So you're going to press into your thigh. That's where you've got the most muscle and fat. Nice deep breath. If you want to check if you're doing it right, you can take your free hand and feel on the side of your obliques. If they're tight, that's good. That means they're being engaged. Remember to breathe. Relax your hand from your leg. Remove your feet. Okay. I'm going to show you how to do this a couple of different ways. Okay. You want to have your strap nearby for this. Preferably a strap or a belt. You can use a towel, t-shirt as well. So you're going to take your left ankle over your right knee. Okay. So version 1, you're going to take your right hand as you're going to leave your upper body on the mat, okay, as much as you can. You're going to pull your knee back towards your chest. That's already going to, I'll show you from this side. So we're going to start with the left leg so that way you can see from this outside of my leg. Okay. So go here, take your left hand. You're going to place it through the hole. As you're bringing your knee up towards your chest, it's going to start to stretch through your sciatic, through the bottom part of your glutes right here, and your hamstrings. This already can be a lot for some people, right? Depending on what's going on in your body, the shape of your body, a lot of different factors. So if you grab behind your thighs, so the outside hand comes around the outside, left hand went through the inside, you can grab onto the back of your hamstrings and pull towards your body. You can grab around your shins and pull towards your body. Okay, notice how I left my upper body down. And you're going to breathe. Relax your shoulders. You start shallow, and as you exhale, you can work your leg back closer to your body. Okay. Now, to do this with the strap, okay, you take the strap or your t-shirt or your towel, make sure it has enough give that way you can grab both sides. It's going to mimic your hands. So the strap comes around. The easiest way to do it is to take the strap around the leg that's going to be planted, just like that. Okay. So I've got it around my right shin or my right hamstring. Okay. So it's already there. And then the next thing I do is just cross my leg over and then use the strap to pull back towards my body, or the t-shirt or the belt. Okay. Now, this is going to cause you to grip with your hands a lot, so if you've got hand issues or your hands are hurting, the other alternative is to go to the wall. So you're going to find a wall. Or a door or space like this. You're going to sit as close as you can to the side. You're going to scoot back, you're going to lay down and place your legs straight up the wall. Okay. This way you don't have to use your hands at all. Okay. Your legs are up the wall. You're going to take, so I'm going to demonstrate with my right leg. So you're going to take the right leg, make a 4 and cross it over your left thigh. And then you're going to slide that left leg down until your foot becomes flat on the door. This is that same stretch, and it's still working the hamstrings, the glutes, the sciatic area without using your hands. And the wall is not going anywhere. Hopefully your house is stable enough that your walls aren't going anywhere. And you're going to breathe. You can go higher up the wall for a little lighter stretch, further down for a little deeper stretch. Okay. So you're going to do this and you're going to breathe. So you can do this for about 30 seconds. And you would switch sides. Okay, so legs up the wall, Cross the left over and give a nice little stretch like so. This is also going to stretch your low back. Okay. So again, further down the wall is a deeper stretch. A little bit higher up the wall is a little lighter stretch. Okay. To get out of this, you're going to bring both knees to your chest. You're going to turn to the side. Push yourself up. Okay. Going back here to the middle. For those of you who are deciding to do this on the ground. Okay. So you'd cross your leg over. You'd come back and reach and pull back. Okay. For those of you who are on the ground, once you get back to this position with your legs back towards your body, you can start to roll as well. Okay, so I would focus on getting the position down first and then roll secondary. So it doesn't have to be today, it could be another day. And you start to roll through the tension in your low back. Okay. If your back is swollen like mine, you're going to notice that you feel like a turtle, and that's okay. Alright, so you just come back to the middle. So you're going to roll side to side on both sides. Making sure to breathe. This is using your own body weight to roll and massage out those tight muscles in your body. To get out of it, relax your hands first. Bring your feet down when your foot hits the mat, then uncross your leg. Same on the other side. Okay, so you pull back. And then you're going to rock side to side. You're also going to notice when you pull back, it may cause your neck to arch. So you can bring your chin down by your chest to flatten out your neck. If there's a particularly hard spot in your back that you roll over, you can stay right there and breathe deeply through it. Okay, using your body weight to flatten out that tight muscle. And you can take it shallow or closer to your body for a deeper stretch. Relax your hands, let your foot hit the mat, then uncross your legs. You're going to stretch your legs all the way out in front of you. If your back is starting to act up and scream at you like, oh, why are you doing this? Just relax, bring your knees back up. That'll cause your hips to roll back under and release some of that pressure that you're feeling. So you're going to do this until your legs feel like they can stretch out. Once that happens, that's a good sign that the blood has worked through those tight areas where the nerves are bunched too much together. Stretch out your leg. You're going to have your left knee up, right leg stretched out. Place your right hand on top of your right hip. You're going to let your left knee just come down to the side. Looks like you've created a number 4 with your legs. Take your left hand, place it just on top of your left thigh. If you can't reach, don't worry about it. Just let your hand be off to the side. So you're going to relax. Okay, so your right hand is holding your right hip in place as your left knee comes down. Because of the tension, it's going to want to pull you over. So just allow it to relax. Start shallow, deep breaths, and open up. Okay, you're going to be here 30 seconds. When you inhale, your belly comes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, belly comes down. To get out of this, take your left hand, place it under your left thigh. Use your hand to lift your thigh up. Good. Then you're going to switch sides. Left leg gets straightened out, left hand on top of your hip, right leg bends all the way out. And then place your right hand on top of your thigh if you can reach. And just let it rest. You're not pushing it down, you're just letting it rest for added weight. Using your right hand, lift your thigh back up towards the middle. Bring both knees up. Okay. You're going to bring both knees to your chest. You're going to hug around your shins or behind your thighs. And just hug your knees into your chest. And rock side to side. This is going to start to roll out some of that low back tension. Okay. You can use your straps here as well. Just go across. You can use your t-shirt and just hold your body in. Be careful of your hands not to grip too tight. Good. Bring your feet to the mat. Your knees are up. Bring your knees together, feet together. Okay. You're going to exhale. Bring both knees down to the left. You're going to have your right foot stacked on top of your left. Exhale, nice and slow. Come down as far as you can, and then let your left knee come all the way down to the mat. It's going to create some space in between your knees. Okay. That space tells you how much tension is still left in your hips and your low back. Okay. So you're just going to let your top knee relax and just breathe. If it feels comfortable, if you're okay with it, turn your head over your right shoulder. So your head's going the opposite direction. If it doesn't feel comfortable, come back towards the middle. So I'm going to switch direction to show you what it looks like from this side. So my knees are up. Okay, this time we're going both knees together, feet together, going down to the left. I'm sorry, the right. And this time I'm turning my head over my left shoulder. Okay. Notice my shoulders are still down. If this is uncomfortable, bring your head back towards the middle. And try to let that bottom leg come all the way down to the ground. Even if there's this much space still left, that's okay. Okay, and you're just letting gravity do the work for you. Come back up towards the middle. Bring your knees to your chest again. You're going to roll side to side one last time. Okay. Switching sides one again. Okay. So we're going to start to finish up here. You're going to stretch your legs out in front of you. Take your right knee and hug it into your chest. Again, you can hold behind your thighs, you can hold around your shin, whichever is more comfortable. Stretch all the way out through your left leg while bringing your right leg in as much as you can. Left toes are up towards the ceiling and you're kicking through the heel. Take 4 deep breaths, breathe through the diaphragm to engage the abdominal muscles and to start to shift some of that fluid through the intestines. This is great for first thing in the morning. When you're sleeping, all of your body systems are relaxing. So all of that fluid gets kind of just slowed up in the body. So while you're bringing your knee into your chest, your belly is being inflated on the one side, so all the fluid moves to one side. Then you're going to switch, and that fluid's going to get pushed to the other side. Disclaimer, a lot of people do get gas around doing this. That's okay. That's natural. Plus, again, you're in your house, so that is what it is. But this is meant to stimulate your digestive tract. So that is a natural result of doing this exercise here. Go ahead and switch. You should feel that stretch coming through the top of your quads, right around your hips, inner thigh. It's important to deep breathe here. Inflate your belly as you breathe in. And one last time, go ahead and switch. Bring both knees and then to your chest and then roll to the side and then push yourself up. When you do push yourself up, let your head stay down for a moment because you've been down on your back for a while, so let that blood just kind of come down before you turn over and sit up for a moment. Good. Then you're going to come to your hands and knees. So we're working our way back to a standing position here. All right, so we're taking our time. Have your hands underneath your shoulders, fingers facing forward, bend in the elbow. Okay. So we're going to do a cat-cow here. So you're going to inhale and drop your belly and lift your neck. Okay, so you want to start with your head here. You don't want to start with your head already tilted up. So you want to tilt down, keep your eyes on the mat. So when you inhale and drop your belly, the midsection comes down and your head comes up. Exhale, bring your belly up, chin down to your chest. Tilt your hips under. So we're going to do 4 of these. Inhale, belly drops like a cow. Head comes up. Inhale, breathing in. Exhale, tucking your belly under, hips under. If your hands are starting to give you some issues because you're putting a lot of weight on them, make sure your elbows are bent first. You can also pause in the middle, turn your wrist under, and give your back of your wrist a nice stretch. Do it nice and lightly. And the same on the other side, nice and light. Okay. So we're going to do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale under. Last one, inhale. Exhale under. Okay. There's 2 ways to get out of this. You can come through your downward dog. So you're tucking your feet under and then pushing up. I would start on my balls of my feet and then slowly push back into your heels. Okay. Take a half step forward with each foot and then just walk in place. So you're going to walk each leg out in place while pushing back through your hands. And then walk forward to meet your hands. So again, walk forward to meet your hands. Don't walk your hands back. And then you're here in this folded position that we did earlier. And then you're going to make 2 fists behind your back. And you're going to pound out your sacrum, the hollow part of your back. Bend your knees. Continue to do that while you lift up. And that's going to stimulate the nerves at the bottom of your spine. So again, you don't get overwhelmed by all that pressure. If it's too much for you to come through the downward dog position, you're on your hands and knees. You're going to bring your strongest leg ahead of you. Come up to one knee. Then let all that fluid rest in your body. And then walk upward. So that's your day's stretch. Make sure to drink the rest of this bottle of water. When you're done drinking your water, you're going to flush all that out. So, have a good afternoon.